Yo, what's up? Welcome to the coaches meeting. That's the coach. I'm Grant Cohn. Day 2 of the draft is today. The Niners took Mykel Williams, defensive end from Georgia, yesterday. So we're going to get into what the Niners should do next, who they should take in round 2, round 3. But first, I want to get coach's take on Mykel Williams. Did the Niners take the right player in round 1? And do you like Mykel Williams?
Yes, I like the pick, right? I'm borderline loving the pick, but I like the pick.
Okay.
What it does is that it's a catch-all for so many things that the Niners need. Number one, we need to get younger. We need to get more dynamic. We need new names. We need more homegrown talent. We need high ceilings, and we need people that can develop with the team and challenge our coaching staff if they cannot develop these players. Mykel Williams hits all of those barometers for me. He's young, 20 years old, okay? He played a lot of different positions. He's versatile. One thing that I've been hearing about Mykel Williams is the lack of productions as it turns to stats, right? But look, this is the deal. When you get used all over the defensive line, you know what I mean? What happens, what I see from a coaching's perspective is it's not so much as that the guy can't do the job. It's that you can't afford to take him off the field. Even at a school like Georgia, where they're known to have 5 stars who barely get any play and still end up winding up on NFL teams, Robert Bill Jr. But what I see right now is that this kid is a force contributor. He's young. He actually has a lot of personality. I've watched like some podcasts on him. And I love the pick. It helps out Nick Bosa. It elevates the defense. We get younger. And you know, my biggest thing right now is just that he stays healthy. But you know, that seems to be something that's also got locked up too. So, and on top of it, with his frame at 19, 20 years old, he's not done growing. He's gonna get his man body. Like what you think right now, he's not even close to where he should be. So this isn't a thing where we pick up a Drake Jackson and he's got to take a year to get his body right just to even play. Nah, this guy's gonna play right away. Is he a can't miss guy? No. Are there issues? Of course there are. One of them is that he needs to have a more refined pass rush. All right. He can get to the quarterback, but he wants going up against more veteran offensive linemen who know how to take secondary moves, primary moves. He's going to have to come with his counters. It's going to be a little bit different for him. But when I'm talking about speed of the game, this kid's going to get nothing but better. But you won't see it right away. I will tell you that. You won't see it right away. It's going to take some time. But he's good enough to play while we wait. So I like what we see.
I was sort of lukewarm on this. Like yesterday morning, I was talking myself into the Niners drafting James Pierce Jr. I'm like, you know, if you look into Gus Bradley's past, he's always taken speed rushers, Bruce Irvin, Chris Clemens. So I was like, I just don't think they're going to want him. They already have a guy like him in Yetur Gross-Matos. Then they take him, and I like listen to why, and I sleep on it. And I like him more and more the more I think about him and delve into his resume. I mean, I think the big knock on him is that he doesn't have the pass rushing statistics. Well, I think if you look at how Georgia uses their defensive linemen, it explains why he doesn't have the pass rushing statistics, because they don't really turn their defensive linemen loose. It's very much a gap-controlled, gap integrity style rush. And it's all about keeping the quarterback in the pocket and maintaining your gap, which is to me like what the Niners have been lacking for 15 years. It's why they always lost to Russell Wilson. It's why they always lose to Patrick Mahomes, because they don't keep the freaking quarterback in the pocket. So what I like about Mykel is like he doesn't have his own agenda as a pass rusher. He's not selling out. He's not going to rush past the quarterback like, you know, James Pierce might, like a one-dimensional speed rusher might. Like he's going to just bull rush his guy. He's going to maintain gap integrity. He's going to keep that quarterback in the pocket, as opposed to Nick Bosa. Like Mykel Williams right now is a better run defender than Nick Bosa, and he's more of a team pass rusher than Bosa. If you're going to have that kind of a player like Bosa on your team, it's nice to have a complement who's way different. So I love the pick. I think it's great.
Yeah. One thing also that we don't have to worry about, the reason why he gets on let's talk about why he gets on the field right away. Why he gets on the field right away is because getting out of bed this morning without even touching his toothbrush, Mykel Williams is the best edge setter on the 49ers defense. right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
That is not a question, okay? We finally have somebody that's going to set the edge where we don't get to see Kyler Murray running for 50 yards on the third play of the game, down the field on us, when we're in late games and teams just want to grind us away by using our own shit against us, which is outside zone. That's not happening. Quarterbacks, this is one thing about quarterbacks with speed. The elusiveness of the quarterback with speed is what you really want to worry about. Once he gets running, it's for the young dudes to get him. They're on your own. But what I love about him is that when he does get penetration, he's analyzing. He's a conscientious player. He's not just playing with his hair on fire. He's playing with a plan. That was my biggest issue with Shamar Stewart and Walter Nolan, is that you see all passion. You see these guys play with their physical traits, but do you see them playing with a plan? Do you see them setting up moves? Do you see them understanding what's happening contemporaneously in the play as it's happening? That's exactly how Mikael Williams plays, so much so that when you first watch him, I do understand what you're saying. It's hard to get it at first. When you first watch him, it's hard to say, well, God, he's not, I see him, but he's not running like a bat out of hell. Yeah, he's not being destructive. Like, he's not blowing somebody's helmet off. Where is it? I don't get it. But when you start seeing him moving, running past guards like a knife through butter, right? He's got some of the best hands that you're going to get out of a defender at this age. It's super special. All right. This is somebody where he can play the edge on first and second down. And then on third down, you can bump his ass down over a guard and then get your interior pressure and not lose a beat. All right. At 267 pounds, at 19, 20 years old, coming into his man body, we're looking at somebody that's going to be tipping at least 275. 6'5", 275. The boy can run, and he's a conscientious player. Another thing that I like about him is that he's flexible. This is somebody where when you get 6'5", you get guys that are a little bit lumbering. Their gait is a little too wide, but I love him. He doesn't look 6'5" when he plays, which is a compliment.
I think it's interesting. I feel like the league has changed so much. I mean, Robert Saleh, when he was here, he wanted D Ford. Now, this guy is nothing like D Ford. Mike Green is like D Ford. James Pierce is like D Ford. And I feel like 5, 10, 15 years ago, when you knew you had to, if you were going to build a championship defense, you had to eventually take down Brady. You had to eventually take down Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. And these were these incredible pocket passers who didn't really move. So you wanted someone like Von Miller, who would dip under and have this incredible speed rush and get the quarterback off his spot. But in today's NFL, where all the best quarterbacks are mobile, like that kind of a rusher is kind of dangerous because you're just opening the B gap up and you're inviting a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts to just scramble. And it's like a guy like Mikael Williams, you're not scrambling by him. It's not going to happen. And I love a player like that in today's NFL. Not happening.
The speed fits the body type as well. I know a lot of people are worried about the 4.7, but when you have that much length at 6'5", and you have the quickness in the feet that he has, 4.7 is adequate. It's adequate. It's not. We're talking about a guy who's putting his hand in the dirt. Exactly. Anything lower than a 4.7, then you have to start compromising on size, weight, and height. And I don't want to do that with this guy. He's got a big enough frame where he could fill out and still be athletic. So I love the pick. I think that we actually got younger. We have a new name that can actually get on the field and be a problem, especially in space. I love the pick. I think that this is also a good misnomer for driving the Niners into what they should be doing in rounds 2 and 3. But I like the pick, man. It's awesome.
I feel like one more thing I want to say about this and we'll move on because we agree. I feel like in today's NFL, a little bit like sacks can be overrated. Because with so many of these mobile quarterbacks, like what you want to do is keep them in the pocket and make them play quarterback. That's job number one. Make them play quarterback, keep them stationary. And if you get a sack after that, great. But a lot of times just keeping them in the pocket and making them play that is a win right in and of itself. And you have these defensive ends who have their own agenda, rush past the quarterback and compromise the integrity of the pocket. And yeah, you're screwed. So I just like that Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley are totally dialed into where offense is in 2025 and how they have to stop it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk round 2. They got pick 43. They've already drafted a defensive end. They've really improved their run defense on the first level What do you think they should do in round 2?
TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. I'll tell you right now, man, this guy has a first step. This dude is put him right next to Mikael Williams. You can put him next to Bosa. I don't care. One thing I love about him is that he plays in space. He's got strong hands, plays with a lot of technique. He's got more than one move. I don't understand how he's getting unnoticed. Well, I mean, he may not have the numbers, but I'll tell you right now, man, getting him at defensive tackle would remarkably change everything. I mean, we already have Mikael Williams. You get TJ Sanders, and then you go and do what you want to do in the third round. We know the third round is crazy time in Niners world. We know that. But for what I see right now, bringing in the D tackle out of South Carolina is exactly what the Niners need to do. I think that we should stick with the trenches until we get off of them. If there's guys there, I'm not of the school of thought of trading back when there's good linemen there. Is just something that I don't want to do. I think that we need to strike. And Mikael Williams was more of a pick like that, right? Do you think, let me ask you this, Grant, do you think Mikael Williams would have been there if we'd have traded back?
I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that. Hard to say.
Yeah. Hard to say.
The Niners were surprised that he lasted to 11.
Yeah. And they were trying to trade up before they got to him, right? So almost to the point, we're glad we stay put. But I do believe that there's going to be a run. There was a huge run on offensive linemen in the first round that nobody really called, right? Josh Connolly got picked up late by the Commanders. So I think now would be a time for us to double down, go defense again, get the trenches handled, and draft TJ Sanders.
Love TJ Sanders. I think TJ Sanders would be a great pick. Flat out. I think he'd be a great fit, great pick. It's not necessarily who I'm going to go. I'm going to go a different way. Although if they take him as an A pick, I still have questions about Trent Williams. I know they keep saying he's coming back and everything's fine. And I guess it's my job to be skeptical. He still hasn't said anything. He still hasn't showed his face publicly. And the fact that they didn't take an offensive tackle in round 1, is it because they wanted Mikael Williams, or is it because Kelvin Banks Jr. got taken with the 9th pick? Were they trying to trade up for Mikael Williams, or were they trying to trade up for Kelvin Banks Jr. and the Saints said, no, we want him? I know you didn't want Kelvin Banks Jr. I kind of feel like the Niners did. And if Trent Williams was like contemplating retirement, and Kelvin Banks Jr. is off the board, I don't think I agree. Don't take Gray Zabel and hope he can play offensive tackle. Don't take Josh Connerly 20 picks too early. Don't take Josh Simmons there. Right. So I get that. But if they still have questions or they're worried, I could see him taking an offensive lineman in round 2, like Ariante Ursary. And if Trent comes back, he could play left guard for a year and then move over to left tackle. But let's assume Trent Williams is fine. Let's assume Trent Williams is coming back, just like the Niners say. And there's nothing to worry about there. Let's say he got another year or 2 of Trent. I'm going to go a little wild card here. Not quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to stay with the defense. And your thought process is like, let's double down on the first level. And I love that. And if this player that I'm talking about isn't there, I would go with TJ Sanders. But at the top of my board, I think Sanders would be 2. And the top of my board would be the UCLA linebacker, Carson Schwessinger. He's a really good player. He would start right away. He's better than D Winters. He might even be able to like be the heir apparent at Mike linebacker after Fred Warner, but I think he'd be a great fit next to Warner. He's a hell of a player at a position that's kind of thin this year. He'd play 100% of the snaps. I like that guy.
You know,
and the thought process is you address the first level of the defense. Let's get the second level of the defense, because it's possible a kick-ass will linebacker would make some of these defensive tackles look even better. I mean, we saw Greenlaw have that effect on these guys.
Yo, I like where your head is at.
Thank you.
Because Jahad Campbell, there's only one linebacker to go off the board, right? Jahad.
Him and Jalen Walker. I don't know what you want to call Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker, whatever.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
All right.
Jahad Campbell. Yeah.
But Carson? One thing I like is that the measurables are off the chain. Even though he's not that fast, he's a 4.7 guy. But he's got a 40-inch vert.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And super
explosive. He could be a thumper. Well, what we need, because there's a certain type of linebacker we need too, right? we can't have two finesse guys. Fred is a finesse guy. Fred is good at what he does, but Fred, the butter of where his bread is that Fred is great moving backward.
Yep.
We need somebody to be a hammer.
Yep.
I like this pick. It's stout. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I love about him, if you just look at his strengths, he's got a hot motor from sideline to sideline. This kid's got range. He's all over the place, which is Dre Greenlaw, right? Shows a dog mentality when chasing down the ball and carries the space. Also, one thing about him too is that he gets downhill in a hurry. He's got a quick trigger. He's got natural instincts. And another thing about him is that his football IQ is off the charts. I've never seen him in the wrong position. He always knows what's going on the field. And his body control and balance as a tackler and breaking down in space and driving through contacts with proper form he's kind of like, I'll put it like this. If we draft Carson, I'm putting money on John Lynch talking about his tackling form. Because the best tackling form that I've seen, Carson, is John Lynch. Remember John Lynch in his career, that was his moniker, being a perfect form tackler. That was what John Lynch did. And that's what I see when I see Carson play, especially when bowing up guys in the hole, coming down. So he's battle tested too. Another thing that we need to recognize too is for everything that he does on defense, he's battle tested in special teams too. We're going to get another special teams demon if he gets here. And team captain, class personified. So I wouldn't be mad at it. And we be getting the second or third best linebacker, depending on how you want to shake Jalen Walker. We be getting like the top 5 linebacker in the draft, and he can start right away.
You add Michael Williams and Carson. I can't say his name. Carson Schwessinger. I feel like all of a sudden you have a serious defense. Like now you've really upgraded your front seven, and you're a corner away from having a defense that's top 10, 15. I mean, with this coordinator.
Well, okay, I hear you, Grant, but the D tackles, though.
Yep,
we don't have any of it.
That's where we're not done at the end of round 2.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, there's no guarantee that Carson will be there. I'm just going to call him Carson, young Carson. There's no guarantee he'll be there at 43 because someone else might want a linebacker, but if he is, that's who I'd go with. If not, TJ Sanders is probably who I'd go with as well. Also, safety is kind of a wild card here. Like, what about if the dude from South Carolina happens to be there at 43?
He won't be there. If he is, pick him.
Right?
If he is, pick him.
Yeah.
Like if Nick Emanwari is there at 43, which would be wild. Pick him.
What about Will Johnson? Will Johnson won't be there, will he?
No, I wouldn't pick him even if he was. The injury stuff.
Yeah.
He might. They're talking about him like his career, like he never may be what he was in college. That's how they're going about his career. So I wouldn't go DB. I even thought the kid out of KU, the UK that got picked up, what was his name? The kid that got picked up in the first round from Kentucky. I think he's overrated. Hairston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So DB is a weird, Johnny Barron's a dog, don't get it twisted, but DB is it's a weird draft for DB this year. But linebacker, you would be getting the best guy possible. Also, but I, the only reason why I think Carson Schwessinger would be a little premature is because they're really hard up on Chris Paul, linebacker out of Ole Miss. That's been somebody that they've been really hot on, right?
That's true.
And with Chris Paul, you may be able to get a Chris Paul in the 3rd round, right? So
that's true. I think Carson's better, but
he is better.
But I mean, maybe not that much better. So okay, those are some options. Let's talk round 3.
Okay.
Who would you like the Niners to take in round 3? They got 2 picks, 75 and 100.
I mean, for me in round 3, if he was there, Harold Fannin Jr.
Wow.
Tight end out of Bowling Green. I really like him. I think
you trading Kittle the next day?
No, but I mean, I'm smirking at him when we make the pick. You know what I mean? Like as soon as we make the pick, I'm kind of giving him a side eye. Like, you go to give him a call, call your new teammate. One thing I like about him, he's 6'3", 241, 4.740. So he's not as fast as George. George, that's one thing that George doesn't get credit for. People forget George was a 4.6, 4.5 guy a coming out of Iowa. George can move. But one thing that I love about him, strengths, his route running. George can never run routes like this kid. This kid runs routes like a receiver. He's got elite route running technique. He manipulates defenders. He almost gives me a little bit of Jordan Reed, man, with just like that dead leg style of him being where you're not, kind of off tempo, pulling the string type of movement. I love that. He's got great hands. He catches everything, and he's got ball skills. He got more than hands. He can go up and get the ball. He can go up and get the ball in contested. He can get the ball with under duress, with the guys hanging all over him. I've seen him make catches that are receiver worthy. He's got a natural feel for finding soft spots in zone coverage, and he's surprisingly effective blocker despite his size. That's one reason why I think they're going to get him, is that what checks the block, what checks out for me rather, is what we know here in San Francisco as no block, no rock. You don't block, you ain't getting the ball. And this kid, for as talented as he is with getting the ball in his hands, he's just as effective without it. I love the pick. I think it would be a solid pick. And also, the reason why I'm going tight end is I think it's a little bit of a selfish pick. You know, round 3 is where Kyle kind of lets it be known exactly what he wants. So, Harold Fenninger.
I like it. To me, though, I'm still trying to, like, if I were Robert Saleh, I'd be like, hey, Kyle, fuck you, Harold Fenninger. Get the hell out of here. Like, you want to back up tight end? Like, no, I need a starting defensive tackle, man. Like, get the hell out of here. So I don't know. Maybe Kyle would overrule him, but I would like be begging, like, can we please, like, let's say they just took Carson in round 2. I'd really like to take the best defensive tackle available right now.
All right, I got a name for you.
Yeah.
Darius Alexander out of Toledo.
Bingo. Or Omar Norman
Lott.
Whoever falls to 75. CJ West. I want
CJ West. Yeah.
I want him right now. So Kyle, I know you like Jordan Reed, and I know he'd be a great piece for you, man, but
woo! Forget that. You know who my sleeper is? I'm about to spread the word. You know who my sleeper is that the Niners should get? Vernon Broughton out of Texas.
Okay.
Defensive tackle out of Texas, Vernon Broughton. If we got if we picked up Vernon Broughton in the second, I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, tell us about him. I don't know about him.
6'5", 315, 3-tech penetrator. All right, 35-inch arms. Dude, this guy, who's the other guy? Alfred, whatever his name is. Alfred Collins. Alfred Collins is getting looked at in the NFL because of Vernon Broughton. Okay. All right, because of the production that he has. Vernon Broughton is explosive. He's got one of the most explosive first steps in the draft. All right. He's got powerful hands with a nasty punch in close quarters. He's got rare closing speed. He's 315 pounds at 6'5", and the boy runs damn near a 4.9. That's what we talking about with what's my guy that we just brought up? TJ Sanders runs a 4.9. All right. Mm-hmm. One thing also is that he's got advanced pass rush repertoire featuring a devastating club swim. He's outstanding leverage player with consistently plays with proper pad level. And one thing I like about him, because he's so big, I mean, Kenneth Grant has been getting all this love because he's 20 pounds heavier. But dude, he's got a high motor. He rushes relentlessly. He brings energy on every snap.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Where he's ranked overall, CBS?
Where?
75.
Bro. Vernon Broughton. I'm telling you, that is the guy, bro.
I like it. I'm sold. You just sold me on Vernon Broughton. 75.
He is the truth, Ruth.
Okay, so we have basically agreed. Well, at 100, let's say they go linebacker in round 2. Let's just go with mine for a second. Linebacker in round 2, Vernon Broughton in round 3, DT. They could go offensive line.
Okay.
Although they are paying Spencer Burford more than $3 million this year, and I have a hard time seeing the Niners put that kind of money on the bench when they're being so cheap. But they could go offensive line, or they could just go 4 defensive picks in a row and get a DB. What would you like to do?
So we've picked up Mikael Williams first round. Yep. We picked up Swissinger in the second round. Yep. We picked up Vernon Broughton in the third.
Yep. We're having a great draft.
We're having a phenomenal draft.
Yes.
All right. So in the fourth round,
You could go offensive line. I mean, you're gonna give Brock Purdy so much money. I mean, it would be smart to address the offensive line, any position, upgrade whatever, some one position, left guard, center, right tackle.
I'm
I
going
don't know.
safety.
I don't know what the answer is here.
I'm going safety.
Okay.
Andrew Makuba.
Okay.
We need one. We do not have a free safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tyler Brown isn't.
He's not it.
He ain't.
He ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And we're being fair, but he ain't it. And we need somebody who can actually not be afraid of receivers. True speed. One thing about Drew is that Drew is a hard hitter, man, but he plays outside of his body. This is a 4-3. This is a 4-3 guy. All right, 6 foot, 195. All right, and I'll tell you, as far as strengths are concerned, he's explosive. He's got really good processing speed, and he plays at his speed. He's got natural ball skills that jump off the tape. His flip hip transitions allow him to flip and run with receivers without losing a step, and he's got a really high football IQ. He was Jahdae Barron's road dog. It was him and Andrew Makuba on that Texas secondary who were terrorizing folks week in and week out. All right, this will be a good get. I think sooner or later we're going to have to face the issue of the safety situation. And with Vernon Broughton and Mikael Williams and a linebacker, I feel like we've dealt with the front seven. It's time to deal with the back end.
I like it. I just feel like if the Niners were to make these exact picks, I would crush them for it. Being like, hold on, you didn't address your offensive line at all. At all. You use it as an excuse. You're going to pay Brock Purdy and nothing, no one, again. So, and maybe like they need to trade down and get another pick. I'm not exactly sure where they take the offensive lineman, but I feel like they almost have to take one. I don't know. I
got you. I got you. Rock with me.
Okay.
So we done been in the 4 rounds, right? Don't we got a second 4th round pick?
Yeah. So I mean, they pick at 100, then they pick again at 113.
I got you. What you want? What you want, dog? You want a guard? You want a tackle? What you want? Talk to me.
I mean, at this point, I'll take a starting guard if you can find one.
Caleb Rogers.
Spencer Burford isn't necessarily the greatest.
Caleb Rogers out of Texas Tech.
All right. There you go.
6'5", 315, outside zone tackle. Niners already met with.
Oh, bingo. What?
Caleb Rogers is our guy, Grant. I'm telling you.
There you go.
So we already got.
ESPN has him at 122.
That's in our range.
Caleb Rogers. Yeah, that's right there. So you could get him in round 4 if you needed to. And you could get this Makuba in round 3.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Get Andrew Makuba.
And Rogers is another one of these tackles that you could put at guard for a year.
He's going to play. He plays guard.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
He's 6'5", 310 pounds.
Okay.
He's going to be an automatic upgrade over Spencer Burford.
Okay.
One thing I love about him is that he's very conscientious as a player. He knows how to pass off stunts and twists very well. Okay. He's got excellent vision and special awareness when he pulls. You know, one of the issues with Dominic Puni this year in his rookie year is that he had a hard time with his spatial awareness in pulling. He would pull. Sometimes he'd be too wide. Sometimes he wouldn't know where the defender was and they'd get to him a little too soon. This guy always makes the calibrations to be able to make that pull work, which Kyle loves. One thing I love about him, too, is that he anchors with his lower body strength. He's just not 300 pounds for nothing. And he's got impressive growth, right? Year over year, he's cutting his pressures rate nearly in half between 2022 as a left tackle and his final 2 seasons. So this guy has played kind of like the creme de la creme position. He's played left tackle. Moving him in at guard, sticking him next to a guy like Trent Williams, that'd be phenomenal for him. And this is a tough, nasty player. One of the reasons why I think he's going to be a guard is because he's got short arms. His arms are short. I think he's got 32-inch arms. So he'd be a good guard for us, and I'd love that pick.
One position I think is an underrated need that the Niners might address on day 2 today is corner. I mean, you can't have enough good corners. There's so many teams that'll throw 3 and 4 wide receivers out there. Mm-hmm. The Niners have 2 good corners. They could use a third. And at pick 100, I feel like they could get a good one. There's Zoff Frazier, who's like traitsy. He's like 6'3", ran a 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could take Noel Williams from Cal. I think they met with him. He had 7 picks this last year. He's a really good zone cornerback, and I think he would fit the scheme. So that's a position I'm looking at the Niners to take. They could wait until round 4 or maybe even 5 to take that position. But like I'm looking at the corner that they draft, that guy could play 70% of their snaps this year. I mean, because if it's not him as the number 3 corner, who's it going to be? Trey Brown?
Then let's flip the script in, Grant.
Yeah.
Because I see something that could actually help us.
Yeah.
So I picked up Andrew Makuba in round 3, right?
Right.
Switch out Andrew Makuba.
Okay.
And tell me who you would get in round 3 as a corner.
Well, let me see.
Because I got a safety that we can get in round 4, where you would get Noah Williams.
Yeah, maybe I'd take Noah Williams at 100.
No.
Because ESPN Scouts Inc. has him at 96 overall.
Okay.
The Niners met with Quincy Riley. He's 86 overall. That's another guy who's kind of similar.
I was saying the only reason why I was giving you that option to try to go up and actually get a better corner is because I like Billy Bowman out of Oklahoma as well at safety.
Okay.
So, and he could get picked up later down the
road. Instead of Makuba at 100, we could do Noah Williams if he falls, and then take the safety later.
That would be dope. Yeah, and then take Billy Bowman later. Yeah. I like him, dog. He's got ball hawking instincts, positional versatility. He can play inside and outside.
Here's what they say about him on ESPN Scouts Inc. He doesn't get caught guarding grass in zone looks. He reads the receiver, gets his eyes on the quarterback when the receiver breaks, and can jump routes and off coverage. Led the FBS with 7 interceptions and returned to kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown. Instinctive open field runner who breaks tackles.
Dude, I'm telling you, like there's this draft is a football player's draft. This is your favorite football player's draft. Like this is for the football heads, right? Like this draft is all about depth, right? If you don't know about a splashy player, then you'll think this draft is average, right? If there's nobody just jumping off the screen that everybody's been pounding every week for the past 3 months, you probably think this draft is weak. But if you know ball, I said the toxic quote, if you know ball, this draft is teeming with talent. It's got so much talent in this draft. So,
and it's just interesting to me, like the push-pull between offense and defense, Kyle and Saleh, because I'm sure there's players Kyle wants. I'm sure he loves Harold Fannin Jr. I'm sure there's all kind of players, wide receivers, running backs, and Saleh has to really like stand up for himself. It's like, oh, you'd like another weapon? I need a starting defensive tackle. I need a starting will linebacker. I need a number 3 corner. You gutted him, man. Like, okay, like I know you want what you want, but you got to work with me here, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of the Niners picks today were defense, because you're still trying to fill starting positions here.
Yeah.
Starting roles. Yeah.
Yeah. That we're not filling out the roster here. We're filling the roster.
Yeah. Like, competing this year, and it's not all about 2026 and 2027. You got to work with Robert. And what I think was interesting when they made the pick, Jed York tweeted, because he wants to get in the action. And it was like, Robert Saleh's back in town. # trenches. Like, okay. And you brought this theory up a lot. Like, is he next in line? I don't know. It feels like he's kind of running the show right now. We'll see what happens.
Look, I'll tell you this. If anything, what this is Rob, I bet dollars to donuts that Robert came in there and said, you guys did not tell me y'all was about to do all of this. No. I would not have taken this job had I known that you guys were going to clear shop like this. Yeah. So you got to make me whole. Yeah. All right. Send over a consolation prize or something. This first round pick, everybody in the room better shut the fuck up while I'm talking. Okay? I'm making the pick. Okay?
Yeah. And so, round 2 and round 3.
And round 2 and round 3.
Oh, you lost Dre Greenlaw? You flew to his house and tried to make it work, but you didn't? Great. Right. I need round 2.
Right.
I need round 3.
So you think you're going to come here and use my name as a sacrificial lamb for this shit show?
No.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
No. We will be drafting all defensive players. Thank you. I have a name to protect.
Joseph Ernberg says Travion Henderson and Burden would be the dream. For Kyle, not for Saleh.
Yeah.
Oh, more weapons for you, huh? More weapons. Because you don't have enough. I don't know. Because the thing about weapons is a genius like Kyle should be able to find them on day 3.
Well, this is the thing about a weapon. You need bullets.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are we going to go get all these guns for and we ain't got no damn bullets? We need trenches, man. We need guys that can facilitate the guys who get the ball. So let's try that first.
Joshua Wyatt says Will Johnson obviously had more on his injury report than we are privy to. But in the second round, should the Niners be the team to take that chance?
With our background, no. We've got our own reputation that precedes us that we need to start getting away from, which is we take on ice wagons. We got to stop this.
Yeah, the Niners training staff isn't exactly working wonders over here. Dylan Peterson says thoughts on what the rest of the division did in the draft day one. Cardinals have turned a bottom 5 D-line into a strength of their team. Impressive. Yeah, why don't we look through it real quick? I like the Cardinals pick for them. I mean, I think Walter Nolan's good in a 5-man front. He'll get one-on-ones. He should be. They're playing to his strengths. I like that pick.
I mean,
the Rams traded out.
The Rams traded out in the whole first round, which is kind of wild.
And the Seahawks actually addressed their offensive line, which the Niners are reluctant to do. But
yeah, I mean, we can go with a couple of moves that confused me. One, Ted McMillan by Carolina. That was weird. I didn't see that coming. Also,
I had a feeling that McMillan and Banks would be held in higher regard in the NFL than in the media. Just from my conversations around the combine, like people in the league seem to really like Banks and Ted. And when you read them online, they're like, people just trash them. And there's very little support for them. But just that was the sense I got being at the combine. Like, these guys are not. I knew McMillan was not going to be there for the Niners, even though there were all these mocks where he was falling past him. I thought that Banks would fall, but maybe that was just wishful thinking on my part because I like offensive linemen. I like you.
Yeah, I like you.
Richard Bart says, for those of you who are upset we're not improving the O-line yet, consider this. If the Niners fielded a team today, which line would you be more confident in, O-line or D-line? Rebuild that D-line. That's true. They got Jordan Elliott still starting on this team. Spider369 says cornerback Darian Porter. Honeybee. Why the bee?
Hold on. Cornerback Darian Porter. I don't even know where he's at on the list.
Darian Porter. He went to Iowa State. He's projected to go in round 3. He's 6'3", 195 pounds.
No, this guy came on late in the scene, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a former track star. And came into football late.
Oh, you're in a 4.3 flat? Oh, he's 6'2". Oh, he
made a name for us.
Oh,
the dude is stiff as a board. He's got no flexibility.
I know, and he looks like. Remember when the Niners drafted Ahkello Witherspoon that time? Do you think they would do it again? Because he's like that.
Come on, and he's like 25 years old. As a rookie, no.
The Jedi said make Amenwari tonight. One can hope.
That'd be crazy.
Let's make some prize picks, and then we'll get back to our thoughts on day one. We got NBA playoffs underway. Who you like? Doncic? Let's go Lakers.
The Don!
Lakers. Austin Reeves, howdy doody. Okay. What do you think? 18.5 points for Austin.
Yes. That's happening.
Happening.
Hillbilly Kobe.
What?
Hillbilly Kobe.
Hillbilly Kobe. I like that. Jared Vanderbilt, not interested. Gabe Vincent, not interested. Jackson Hayes, LeBron James. Okay.
What's Jackson Hayes?
What's Jackson Hayes?
What are they? Rebounds?
2.5 points.
Yes. That's an easy one.
It's an easy one.
Yes. Jackson Hayes
last game and one the game before that.
Are
you feeling good?
Yeah. Jackson Hayes gets a little oops from Doncic.
I'm like an idiot. Let me get it. Hold on. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. There it is. So Hillbilly Kobe, you said?
Yep.
18.5 points. Nope, that's assists. There it is. Okay. Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, 2.5. Feeling confident about that. LeBron. What do you think? Rebounds?
Bron go get his. What's his assist?
6.
Bron go get 6 assists.
Okay. Where's Luka? There he is. Assists, points, rebounds.
Points.
What are points at?
Right there at 24 and a half. Or lower. Yep.
There it is. 30 and a half.
Where are they playing again?
Minnesota.
Yeah. You'll get.
Yeah. Okay, let's get Anthony Edwards and call it.
I'm so the NBA is just so unserious. I can't take it seriously.
26 and a half points for Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man. And I get 26. You gotta understand, they don't really have scores in the NBA. They just wait till the time runs out. Like everybody scores.
Let's get one more. Let's get Curry. Game 3, 27 and a half points. What do you think?
Yep. Dude, they all score, bro. That's all they do. They score.
That's so funny. That's
when's the last time you watched when's the last time you watched an entire basketball game?
I only watched entire basketball games in the playoffs, so this week.
But so you saw an entire basketball game lately?
Because the Warriors are in it, yeah.
When's the last one you seen?
If you want to watch an entire basketball game and make some plays, download the Prize Picks app, use promo code Cohn, COHN, because I asked you to. And if you play $5 and you win, you get $50. And if you play $5 and you lose, you also get $50, which is kind of nice. So let me ask you this. Non-Niners, what were your favorite picks in round 1? What were the best picks?
Some of them hurt me. What really got me?
The worst picks in a minute.
I mean, not hurt me as in they were so good they hurt.
Ooh.
Right? Armand Mimbu going to the Jets gutted me. Jahad Campbell going to the Eagles. That is just not fair. That was a really good pick. Because the thing about it is that he doesn't even have to play right away. Like that's the perfect situation for him. The Talik Williams pick to Detroit, I thought that was a hell of a pick too. Right before that pick, Malachi Starks, the number 1 safety in the draft, is such a Baltimore pick. I love that pick. I thought it was smart. I'd have to say the other pick that really made sense to me, I say there were 2 other picks that made perfect sense to me. The Jahdae Barron pick to Denver. Jahdae Barron playing on that already good defense with Patrick Surtain Jr., that's going to be a problem. And the Omarion Hampton pick for the Chargers. Coach Harbaugh finally got his back. And you know he loves to pound the rock. So I'm excited and you know what about Omarion? Is that Omarion Hampton is not, he's a traditional back in that he's straight up and down, no frills. But he went to the perfect team that's going to play him in gap scheme, that's going to play him north and south. They're not going to do all of this stuff where they're going to make him do what we do outside and inside zone and, slow to and fast through. This is a guy where you stick the ball in his stomach and you let him go. So I'm really excited about the Omarion Hampton.
I'm going to name the 5 picks I like the most in round 1, and not in like order of how much I liked them, but just in order of like when they happened. So to me, I think people kind of overthought it a little bit with Abdul Carter. I could be wrong. I think he's the best player in the draft. And the fact that the Giants could get him at 3 is a great pick to me. Like Travis Hunter, I mean, I understand Cam Ward going 1. He's a quarterback. You need 1. Fine. Travis Hunter going 2. That's so interesting to me because like if he only plays corner, he's not the second best player in the draft. And if he only plays wide receiver, he's not the second best player in the draft. So he kind of has to play both. And maybe he will in the NFL at a high level. But to me, that's still like, I'm not sure that, like, I think he's going to play corner and then like maybe be like a rotational wide receiver at first. I'm not really sure. He may end up being the second best pick in the draft, but you traded up for him? I like the Giants just got Abdul Carter. I like that a lot. Number 1.
Okay.
Then for number 2, Ashton Genty, like going to the Raiders. He's going to get a ton of work. He's in a good system for him. Chip Kelly knows how to run the ball and how to use a running back. I think he's going to do great there.
And Pete loves to run the ball.
Yeah. And like these are best player available picks that like aren't necessarily at super important positions, but then at 12, I kind of like Tyler Booker to the Cowboys because it's like you're not going to get anyone at D end or offensive tackle who's cornerstone, but that guy might be an all-pro guard. And they had an all-pro guard for like 15 years in Zach Martin. There's
That's
value
why they did
in
it.
Yeah, so I kind of like that pick. It's pretty safe and it has some upside. And then late in the round, like Washington getting Josh Connerly Jr. and Kansas City getting Josh Simmons, those are nice picks at the end of round one. Getting offense guys who could be left tackles, like Josh Simmons, kind of risky, but they signed Jalen Moore. He doesn't need to play right away, and if he hits, then like that's the best pick in first round. So those are my 5 I liked a lot.
Yeah, if the Josh Simmons, that's why, the teams that took chances could afford to, right?
Yeah.
If the Josh Simmons pick works, we'll all be kicking ourselves that Kansas City's got another
position to take that risk.
We're not in a position to do that, right? Yep. If Jahad Campbell doesn't necessarily get back to speed with his shoulders, the Eagles aren't really going to miss Jahad Campbell. But if he turns on, that's a huge get for them. So I like what you're saying, and the same thing with Josh Connerly. For me, I think that he's a plug and play guy right now. For the Commanders, they could go ahead and put him in at left tackle and forget about him. Possibly right if they feel so. If they feel inclined.
He's so good that the Niners could have considered taking him at 11. It would have been a massive reach, but he's good and he can play left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there were a couple of players that got picked in the end that if they weren't getting picked on, I wouldn't have been mad at the Niners trading back into the first to get Josh Connerly.
I know a lot of people preferred him to Kelvin Banks.
Well, my player comp for Josh Connerly is Trent Williams.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about the worst picks in round one. Which ones really made you scratch your head?
The number Gray Zabel to the Seahawks at 18th overall. I mean, he would have been a center for us. He's not a tackle. But for them to think that he's the second best guard when you have Tate Ratledge still around, right? I think that was a reach to go all the way up there to get a guard. I also thought that the Derek Harmon pick by Pittsburgh was more of them picking up a guy who they just felt like that, edge rushers were kind of going away right now. Shamar Stewart had been gone. Jalen Walker just came off. We picked up Mykel Williams. I believe that, I don't know if they're really in love with Derek Harmon. It kind of seemed like they were kind of forced to pick him. So I didn't like that pick at all. Also, I don't like the Ted McMillan pick that we talked about. Ted McMillan getting picked up 8th overall to Carolina. I just think that it's not that I don't like Ted McMillan, but I just think that the field is so condensed that you can't really explain picking a receiver from a group that's that tightly knitted together. I get the Kenneth Grant pick. Everything else I pretty much understood, and then obviously I don't want to take it away from you, but the Jackson Dart pick, trading up to go get Jackson Dart, I didn't understand. Is he better
I'm not
than?
Surprised that the NFL preferred him to Shedeur Sanders. Doesn't mean he's better than Shedeur. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah,
not surprised at all. But I
and
do
be like, well, he's a better athlete than Shedeur. It's like, yeah, but that's not why.
That's not why. I think and if you want to touch on it, I think that Shedeur not getting picked in the first round didn't have a lot to do with his talent. I think him not getting picked in the first round was a message that you're not bigger than the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you need to take this seriously. And it cost you money today because you didn't take the process seriously. That's how I feel.
He not? He got some negative reviews with his.
Yeah, his this is the thing is that, when you come around the NFL, you're going to feel the room. It's like coming in for a job interview, right? Mm-hmm. You feel the pressure. Maybe don't come in so relaxed that it comes off like disrespect.
Got it.
Right? And I think that he's been around it so much that he doesn't notice when it's go time. It's time to really be your best.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let me tell the picks I disliked the most, or I was most confused by. First of all, trading up for Travis Hunter. I like Travis Hunter a lot, but for him to be worth 2 first-round picks plus what you gave up, it's like he's really got to be a two-way player. Like he needs to be playing every snap on offense and defense at a high level. And I'm not saying he can't do it because he did it in college, but it's kind of scary. I mean, you don't know for sure that he can actually pull that off. He might just be a cornerback who plays wide receiver sometimes or vice versa. So that's the one, like, you traded up for that. Wow. And then the other one, Omarion Hampton. And it's not that I don't like him. It's like you signed Najee Harris. You don't have wide receivers, Jim. This is not the Big Ten. You have Justin Herbert. He just melted down big time in the playoffs. Yeah, you got him, Lad McConkey, but Jim's whole thing in the NFL has been running the ball and not really taking the passing game that seriously. And I feel like he really thinks he can win the AFC West like with ball control and like time of possession. It's like, I don't know, maybe, but I'm not bullish on the Chargers this year. Like, well, forget wide receiver. They needed a defensive end to replace Joey Bosa, and you took another running back. Okay. He's good, though. It's really good.
I see what you're doing here. I think he wants to accentuate what he already has. He just got himself a nice, shiny new left tackle in Joe Alt. Okay. He's got his quarterback who needs to be protected. And I feel like for him, he needs to be able to control the game a little bit more, which is, i.e., get a stronger run game, right? Najee Harris coming over, Grant. I don't think he's a bell cow back. He's shown as much in Pittsburgh. That's why he moved on from him.
He's not that great.
Yeah, he's not a bell cow guy. Omarion Hampton is a bell cow guy. You know, so I mean
Najee can take the workload. You just don't want him to.
Right. He's the person that shows up where it's like, oh, it's you.
Najee, kind of running slow.
Yeah.
4 yards. Yeah.
Awesome. Exactly what we want to do.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a couple more super chats. Pat D says, for as raw as Amenwari is, would y'all still take him in round 2? Hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Your eval of Porter is hilariously wrong.
The kid out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? Is he not 25? Is he not stiff?
Let's see what Scouts Inc. says about him. This is their little blurb from Steve Munch. Porter is an excellent special teams player who blocked 4 punts and 1 field goal attempt at Iowa State. He moved from receiver to corner in 2022 and didn't start at cornerback until 2024, but has rare upside. He had the 3rd fastest 40-yard dash regardless of position at the combine, 4.3 flat. Porter has outstanding arm length and recovery speed developed into an elite press corner. He reads the quarterback and tracks the ball well in zone coverage, and he plucks the ball out of the air. He has the frame, length, and strength to prevent receivers from coming down with 50-50 balls. Now, these blurbs are always positive. They don't get into the negatives, but that's what they said about him, and he's slotted at least on ESPN's ranking at 84. So could be the guy at 75, but I would rather take another front 7 player than to go corner at this point, because I think the front 7 is just tragic. It's awful. So bad. But yeah, Darian Porter. I think he's got a little Kelly Witherspoon to him, and that means
not a fan.
Take him. Still in the league. Grab Shamar Turner or Jared Wilson at 11. Well, 11 was last night, but 11 in round 2. Shamar Turner. Porter is exactly who the Niners would draft.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good. He's tall. He can run, right? But I don't necessarily think that he's that physical. I think that once he's one of those corners, or he's one of those athletes where his size advantage over defenders is where you see him like shine. But when you see him play against receivers that are his size, all of that shit goes out the window. Can't tackle guys his size. That's what I've seen. It's like when he plays somebody where it's like, I got the length, I got the reach, you're not going to overthrow me all day. But you get somebody that's 6'2", that's an NFL receiver that can actually run with him, all bets are off.
Saleh and Bradley were in Seattle when they drafted Richard Sherman. I'm just curious to see which corner they draft this year and what kind of traits he has. Like, I have no clue what they're looking for in a corner at this point in 2025, but it'll be interesting to find out. That's it. We got the draft later tonight. It's 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Coach is clearly looking at something concerning, but I think it's okay.
I'm sorry. We're good.
No, that's the show. Thanks a lot, Coach. This was great. And we'll
it's good to be back, man. It's been a while since we've been on together, man. Greg got a whole, you see how Greg kicks me to the curb, guys? He got a whole squad. It's been me, guys. It's been me. It's good to be back, Greg.
Today feels big. I mean, like yesterday they made the right pick, but it also kind of felt like they couldn't mess it up. There were a lot of good players to take. This today, 3 picks. You got to nail them. You're 1 for 4. You got to go 3 for 3 today. And the Niners could do it. See if they do it. We just gave them the answer, so you're welcome. Coach,
they're going to do it, bro.
Who would you prefer as a cornerback? Says Spider 369.
If we had to go DB, for me, Trey Amos out of Ole Miss.
Like Noah Williams at the end of round 3. He's not the
Noah
fastest
Williams,
guy, but he's a good zone corner with production.
I like Trey Amos though.
Good call.
Good press corner.
All right, guys, we're going to sneak out of here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the super chats. I'll be back tonight after the Niners make their very important picks. Coach, good stuff.